Nick, and welcome to another episode of Endangered Bird Watch. Today we are going to be talking about the Imperial Woodpecker, one of the largest woodpecker species in the world. We will be interviewing an ornithologist, lumberjack, and poacher with some questions about the bird and their experience with it. But first, some background information of the bird. The Imperial Woodpecker is listed as critically endangered by the IUCN Red List. Its scientific name is Campophyllus woodpecker, and it belongs to the Pisidae family with some relatives including red-naped sapsucker, ivory-billed woodpecker, and the gilded flicker. Firstly, we're going to ask a lumberjack named Jack some questions. Mr. Jack, do you have some info on the habitat of imperial woodpeckers?
In fact, I do. I have been lumbering in the subtropical montane and pine-dominated forests in Mexico's Sierra Madre Occidental mountain range in western and central Mexico for around 42 years now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that is also the natural habitat of the imperial woodpecker you were talking about. So let me give you guys some more information on that. First and foremost, the temperatures vary in the mountain range, depending on the elevation. Lower elevations are warm year-round, while the higher elevations stay rather chilly. Rainfall is generally moderate, but western slopes get more rain. Summer is when the rain season occurs, usually from May to August. It has been around 40-something years since I last saw the imperial woodpecker, and after that, I suspect the species might have gone extinct.
Let me check my notes. Yes, in fact, that is correct. On a side note, imperial woodpeckers are warm-blooded, meaning that they are homeothermic. They are also endothermic because they regulate their body temperature using their own energy. On the trophic level, they're carnivorous consumers since they eat beetles by pecking them out of trees instead of producing energy. Back to the topic. Why do you cut down trees if it kills so many animals, including this nearly extinct species?
There are two important reasons why my job is to deforest these mountainous forests. We need the tree's wood to make paper, tables, chairs, etc., which are all necessities of people's daily lives. We also need this extra space to accommodate the growing population and the increased demands of housing. The cutting of these trees and providing for everyone's needs will make our city more successful than ever.
Thanks, Jack, for your information. Next up, we have Brandon, the former poacher. Brandon, what do you hunt imperial woodpeckers for?
We used to hunt imperial woodpeckers for food because they are a good food source. These are easy to spot with their bright red crest on their head, basically an easy to catch meal. We use their feathers and bodies for decoration, and native Mexican tribes used to use them for rituals. The last time I successfully hunted these birds was in the 60s. It sure has hidden for more than 40 years now. As a former poacher, I also have made some observations about their reproduction and some ecosystem adaptations. So let me brief you guys on that.
That would be awesome. I'm very curious to learn some information and knowledge.
The most significant structural adaptation an imperial woodpecker has is its strong, pointed beak. They use this beak to chip on bark, drum on trees, and find insects inside the trees. Also, woodpeckers do have thick skulls to prevent the brain from getting damaged while pecking wood. It helps them withstand physical shocks and protects the inside. Aside from that, woodpeckers have some interesting behaviors. They live in groups so the young and newborn can be safely protected from predators like us or other natural incidents. They also utilize resource partitioning to reduce competition with other animals.
Thank you, Brandon. Just a quick question. Do you have any information on their reproduction?
Yes, I have seen them reproduce. Females typically lay between 4 and 6 eggs at a time. Woodpeckers fertilize their large, hard-shelled eggs externally and take care of them in tree cavities for extra protection. Typically, the female cares for the newborn baby as it sits on the egg. After about 2 weeks, the eggs finally hatch and baby woodpeckers come out. This reproduction method protects the baby from predators or other incidents that may occur. Male imperial woodpeckers have a red crest on their heads to attract females, and they use a drumming noise to communicate with other woodpeckers, plus functions like a mating call.
Thanks so much. Last but not least, we have our professional ornithologist, Bob. Does the bird have some sort of contribution to the ecosystem?
Hello, Nick. Imperial woodpeckers help maintain the numbers in the insect population, preventing it from getting too high. If the number of insects in the forest got too high, then the plants that they eat would decrease in population, causing a massive disturbance in the ecosystem. The imperial woodpecker helps the ecosystem in important ways, because the constant drilling and pecking of the woodpeckers creates cavities in the pine tree. Other organisms can then use these cavities for their homes or shelter.
Continue. What are some main factors for the decrease of this species?
Habitat destruction and overexploitation are the two main reasons why the imperial woodpecker is critically endangered. Deforestation by humans eliminates the shelters and hunting grounds of these birds, decreasing their overall population. Then, deforestation paved the way for overexploitation to happen. With more space to move around, hunters and poachers started to kill more and more imperial woodpeckers, mainly for food.
So, what are ornithologists doing to save the imperial woodpeckers?
We have conducted a number of searches to protect the remaining population. However, the results seem fruitless because there are still no confirmed records, even after an extensive 11-month search in the years of 1994 and 1995. However, we narrowed the searching area down to a few forests in Mexico, hopefully finding evidence that the imperial woodpecker can still be found.
Despite our actions, what characteristic of the bird caused its population to decline?
So you see, the imperial woodpecker requires a large forested area in order to forage and nest, but since most trees have been cut down in that area, its massive body and specific living habits made it difficult for the species to reproduce and survive. Imperial woodpeckers also often live in groups, allowing hunters to kill more woodpeckers with less effort.
What are your speculations for the species' future?
It's pretty hard to say actually. There is not an exact number of the population, but it is speculated that there are less than 50 surviving woodpeckers remaining in the wild. If we cannot further find concrete evidence or confirmed sightings that the population is alive, the imperial woodpecker might be officially listed as extinct.
What impact to the environment there might be if the imperial woodpecker goes extinct?
If the imperial woodpecker goes fully extinct, the beetle and insect populations will increase rapidly in response to the decrease in predators. This will cause a disturbance in the ecosystem and food chains, with the beetles and other prey of the imperial woodpecker overpopulating. In this way, imperial woodpeckers are keystone species. Without this species, the ecosystem completely collapses.
Thank you for all the information DeVry have provided us with. Well, that was it for this episode of Endangered Bird Watch. Until next time, peace out.